Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today for another episode of Gold Wingnut Live. Each week I answer your questions about things happening in Sumter County and the villages. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos I produce are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happenings here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo video package for your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work's being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some others do. I'm watching your home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange your package today. Now let's get started with the show. Well, hello everyone, it's Don and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. Oh man, it is 90 degrees outside today. Holy mackerel. Who would have thought summer was coming this early? Anyway, welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. I'm your host, Don Wiley. We're going to talk about questions you may have, things you're looking for answers on. I'll try and help you as much as I possibly can. And I got a few topics we want to talk about today. We'll start with my wife. She is doing very well. She had knee replacement surgery a week and a half ago, and she is recovering well. Each day she gets better and better. The first couple of days was a little tough, and she was in a lot of pain. She was on a lot of pain meds, and she slept a lot. So I got to do a lot of reading and catching up. I had some work to catch up on, but I also spent some time on social media, which really brought around today's show, what I wanted to talk about, because it's just amazing. Some of the people have some opinions, and they don't truly understand what the impact of decisions are. So we're going to talk about, is the villages getting too big? We're going to talk about Chitty Chatty and the work that's going to start happening there tomorrow. Some other things. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free to ask. We'll try and get to them as quick as possible. There was no funny stuff today. Sorry, because I spent a tremendous amount of time today trying to focus my attention on, getting my head around all the issues. Let's see. Rich says 89 degrees in Warmans. Yeah, it's definitely warm there in PA. Yesterday heat was on in the morning. You can keep it. That's okay. Now, David, no idea yet. Nothing's been announced on Publix. Best guess is very late in the year or very early next year. The shell of the building is up, but it's the interior work that takes forever. Prime example: you build a house here. At the end of 2 weeks, the roof is on and shingled. Okay, the shell is done for the house. And it takes another 2 months, give or take, to finish building the rest of it. So it's a detailed process inside. Okay, so Sodfather says, to answer Victoria's question from last week, Middleton doesn't have a monthly amenity fee like the Villages does. Middleton's amenities are paid in an annual maintenance fee, a higher fee than the Villages. Yeah, so thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Sorry, gotta have my coffee. You guys know that. Yeah, Middleton is a little different. Now you may have seen some interesting. Let's try that again. You may have seen some interesting news about another CDD for Middleton. You got to remember what's happened last year. About this time, they reduced the size of Middleton A CDD to about a third of what it originally was going to be. Well, now they're adding more on. It's just part of what was in the original CDD. They just broke it up, is really all they did. And this is going to be the area on the west side of the Dry Creek. It's called Dry Creek because it's a dry creek, but they build bridges over it. It's part of the natural drainage. The natural drainage here comes from the south and moves north up to Lake Panasoffkee. And the Dry Creek is part of that natural drainage. But is it something to be concerned about? No. Yeah. I mean, just like there's going to be a CDD 17, a CDD 18, and probably 20, 19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, if you look at the map, there's a lot of land there. But again, the Villages is getting too big. But we're going to get to that. So let's see. Let's see. Mark says, hi, Don. With talk of the chairs being removed from Lake Sumter Landing, is any amenity fees used for the chairs? No, they are not. Also, which board is the proper one to complain to? There is no board that covers the entertainment in the squares. That is Villages Entertainment that does it. The money for that, all that comes from the merchants. None of it comes from the amenity fees. None of it comes from the county. Contrary to what you might have heard, this past week, the Board of County Commissioners took a vote on reinstating the tourism tax. It's going to be a 2% on, basically on lodging. I voiced my concerns on the whole process because, unfortunately, in the state of Florida, these VRBOs or vacation rental by owner, Airbnb, all these rental places have got a real strong lobby in Tallahassee. And, just like the Disney and Busch Gardens and all these big amusement parks have a very strong lobby. They want to keep the customers coming. So they don't want to interfere with anything that might impede that. Unfortunately, and if you've watched me for any time, I don't have a real big love for the Airbnb process here in the Villages. It's very disruptive to our neighbors. I was talking to my friend Dave this morning at the dog park, and he was talking about some run-in he had with some folks over at the pool for Oak Hollow, and a couple of couples, and they were both there on Airbnb stays, and they really didn't show any respect for our amenities. And I tried to explain that was the problem, and of course they got rude and belligerent with them. I know Dave pretty good. He's not a rude individual. He used to be a cop up in, I think, New Hampshire. And man, I'll tell you what, our police officers, our sheriff's officers, their patience is just absolutely amazing. Why, you know. But anyway, back to the question. So you'd have to talk to the village's entertainment department, and you know, again, there is no amenity fees used for the chairs or the entertainment. The merchants all pay for that. That's a way to draw people in, which draws people to their businesses. You know, people get there early, and what do they do to occupy their time? They go shopping, they go eat. It's amazing if you go. Oh, jeepers, what is it? Home Goods, I think it is. Yeah, it's Home Goods up in 466. Go up there about 8 o'clock at night. Graveyard in that place. But you go to Lake Sumter Landing, and you walk in the stores, and there's always people milling around at the same time. So that late night traffic is very big for our merchants here, and it helps keep them in business. Anyway. All right. This one ought to be good. Oh, Buzzard Bob. How's Molly doing, Buzzard Bob? Buzzard Bob is another one of the guys that goes to the dog park regularly. He's got a little black lab. No, Molly is not little. She's a beautiful girl. She's about 4 years old. Beautiful dog. Well behaved. Just like most of the dogs at the dog park. Most. All right. This is from Michael. He says, FYI, if you get creative, you can get to the new Walmart by golf cart. Park at Rohan, walk across the crosswalks, 44, Morris, all inside walks. Walmart side, we bought a cart for our groceries. Yeah, I mean, but it is not golf cart accessible. You cannot cross a road with the speed limit of 35 miles or higher with a golf cart or a low-speed vehicle. There's an exception for that up in, I think it's in Lake County. Yeah, it's up around the Lady Lake area. They allow that crossing. I don't remember the details on why, but that happened a few years ago. But other than that, nope, you're not allowed to cross. It's a safety issue. Oh, all right. Sodfather says, how have you discovered what the future guest area accommodations will be? Short-term rentals or something else? I have. In fact, I ran into a former customer. I actually did work for him twice or maybe 3 times, and we were talking for about half an hour. He has some. I'm not going to discuss his position because I don't want to compromise him too much. But basically, they are going to be the new lifestyle preview properties, all 4 sections. It's going from around 200 units to about 240 units, I believe he said. So they're increasing in size. And you know, this location makes a lot of sense. It's in close proximity to the sales office and Eastport. And if you look for the next 2 years, maybe longer, you know, they're going to be building CDD 16, which is the area on the east side of Bexley Trail. When you go down, when you cross the bridge and you're heading south, it's on your left. That whole area all the way down to Long Prairie. That's 2 years worth of growth. So it's a good location for that. It makes good sense. You know, 10 years from now, yeah, the sales office is going to probably move farther south to the next town square, but that's so far out in the future, it's crazy. All right, so that's what those are. Yeah, so again, fortunately, I mean, is it short-term rental? Yeah, it is short-term rental. Oh, look at that. I screwed up when I did my layout here. My logo is over my forehead now. It's supposed to be behind it. All right, cool. And I got a glow on my forehead from the lights overhead. I got about, 2,000, 3,000, what is that, 4,500 candle power lights in my office here. Just lighting up everything. All right. All right, let's see. All right. Shall we get to it? Shall we talk about, is the Villages getting too big? What do y'all think? Too big? Just right? Needs to grow? Well, let's go over to the web browser first. And hey, look at there. Okay, let's bring up the village's map. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go. Oh, I gotta figure out where it's at. I never can remember. Visit community map. When we bring up the community map, you can, let's zoom in. I mean, it's big. There is no doubt about it, okay? And what do they have left to go? I mean, you know, this is pretty good, but they're really down here. This is what they're working on now, this massive area at the bottom. All right, come on. I mean, if you look, all right, here's Central Parkway, and here's Long Prairie, and you can see how much farther they got to go. Oh, by the way, this over here on the left, this is that Middleton, is this Middleton B? No, over here, where they don't show anything yet. This is Middleton B, over in here. All right. Let's see. But yeah, so there is a tremendous amount to go. This is probably another 20 years worth of growth. And, you know, they have more property. It's about a mile from here. There's about another 1,000 acres here. This is the mascot property. So that's, that who knows, maybe someday that'll be joined to the rest of it. All right, let's jump away from that. And we're going to go to this. All right. Let's see. All right, so Craig says, in my humble opinion, the village is not too big. It's thoughtfully planned community. My in-laws bought in new in the late 80s, and we are fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do the same 35 years later. It's still a growing community. And what doesn't grow dies. You're very good. Villages is Goldilocks. Forgive me if it, okay? It's been asked, just joining now, when is your next construction update video? You are the best at it. Well, thank you very much, Crystal. Because of having to spend a lot of time with my wife Debbie, with her knee. I mean, we're doing physical torture. I mean, therapy twice a day. And when on the days that we're not doing that, I got to take her to physical torture, physical therapy. It is torture. I mean, but she is doing so much, incredibly better. The stretching and all that, I can see it every day. Her walking is improving. But because of the amount of time I'm spending taking care of my wife, I don't have a lot of chances to get out anymore and do some filming. So everything's kind of on the back burner at this point. I apologize. I mean, 167 it's up here, but it's a long way off. All right, let's jump over back onto this topic. All right, so and we'll come back to that question. All right, so is the villages getting too big? That's the big question. Okay, what is too big? Okay, who's to say? And does it really matter on your day-to-day? And I say that in all earnest, because if you live in this far south end, in Finney or Monarch Grove or in the Eastport area, do you really ever go up to Mulberry Grove or Spanish Springs? It's probably pretty rare. It really is. I'd be surprised if it's more than a small handful that actually go up past Brownwood and 466A, because it starts to be, it is quite a distance, okay? So, what happens up at Mulberry Grove? doesn't really affect me over in Hillsboro. It doesn't affect me in Moultrie Creek. It doesn't affect anybody in Finney or Hammock at Finney or DeLuna. No. And guess what? What we do down at this end doesn't really affect the folks up there. So, you know, but it does have its advantages. Oh, okay. We'll get to the advantages in just a minute. I love this one, you know, because it's too big. The developer is greedy. Yeah. You remember that picture I just showed you with the map? That's tens of millions of dollars invested in planning and that. And, you know, they have so much at risk. They have so much invested. I mean, they literally have millions of dollars invested, and they spend millions of dollars every week continuing to develop this community. So, you know, they're not being greedy. But if you want to talk about greedy companies, well, you better throw away that Apple phone. Oh, by the way, there's no calls today. My phone died. Somebody forgot to charge it. So it's charging, but it's not connected to the broadcast today. Anyway, yeah. I mean, Apple is the biggest company in the world. They must be greedy, right? I mean, if you listen to some of our politicians, and nobody can be a billionaire, let alone be a company worth $3 trillion. I mean, holy mackerel. But anyway, so I'll be honest with you. In the 12 years I have lived here, I have watched what the developer does. I watch how they give back to the community. I see more of it because of what I do, both in this aspect, but also in my county position. I see a developer that is very invested in the community and is they're not going anywhere. They're staying here, and it's a very good family that runs it. They have my greatest respect, even though they don't like some of the things I do and say, but it is what it is. So, yeah. All right, we had a couple of messages come on here. We focus on that. Okay, let's see. Craig says, I've been following the growth since my in-laws. When Don started videos in 2018, it really made more fun to watch. Thank you. I haven't been in Spanish Springs since 2018, says Godfather. We focus on the southern area. Let's see. Larry wants me to do some 5-minute construction updates. You know what? That's a possibility. Because I can pull one of those off. That's really normally just 1 or 2 flights. I might be able to pull something off. Let me see what. That's a good idea. I honestly haven't. I hadn't really thought about it. Crystal says, regarding the villages being too big, I'd rather have the villages build onward and continue their beautiful communities as opposed to other companies who would go in a crappy, low-budget quality. I agree. I live with, okay, so this is from Trevor. He says, I live with my grandparents for 1 year in Orange Blossom Gardens 30 years ago. Spanish Springs had just been built. I can remember the same thoughts about new construction. Craig says Morse family is amazing. What they have done is truly incredible. Yeah, I agree. Dreamcatcher says, hi Don, the land clearing across from the new Sumter government office complex on 470, is that going to be a new Route 471 or something else? So there's a lot going on at that intersection. A lot of the clearing that you see right now is in preparation for the widening of 470 to 4 lanes from Middleton all the way to US 301. Also some prep work for US 301 widening. That's most of it though. Jerry and Linda, how about the Big Bear in Dunedin? Jerry, you got me on that one. All right. I hadn't heard about a bear in Dunedin, but doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me. So if you don't know Jerry and Linda, this is Village's Newcomers. We've been friends for years. We talk frequently. Great guy and wonderful lady, Jerry and Linda. Love them both. Good to see you on the show. All right. All right. Let's see. Wow. All right. So a lot of good comments there. All right. Let's continue on with the discussion. The village's size, really, though, when you start looking into it, is really what makes it affordable compared to other communities. First off, wow, we talk about our bonds being, $50,000 and that now. Man, you want to see watch the newspaper. There are developments going up all over, and they have bonds in the $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 bonds that are assessed on new homes. Ours are, because of the scale and the resources that the developer has at their disposal, they can do the development much cheaper. There's another part of it I'm going to get to in just a second. So the size also allows for a very diverse group of social groups and activities and events. Let's face it, where else are you going to find a ukulele club? Okay, how about a drone club with 130 members? How about the Apple users group here? It's the largest Apple users group in the world. I think they've got over 600 members. I've recently, in the last year or so, become active with them as I continue to learn and progress in my knowledge of Apple machines. What you're seeing today, actually, all my broadcasts except for one have been done on Apple computers, and I don't want to say I hate to say it, but I was never. I'm still not drinking the Apple Kool-Aid, folks, but I will respect a good platform. And man, I have a Windows laptop, and it lasts about 2 hours on the battery. My MacBook, I have a MacBook Pro 14-inch and a MacBook Pro 16-inch, both of them 16, 18 hours on a battery. Unbelievable battery life. But anyway, I digress. So we have, because of our size, we're able to have all these social groups, because you have more people to pull from with common interests. So it is a good thing, in my opinion. All right, this is an important one with the villages. Having a single builder, okay, and the size of the community allows for better flood control and stormwater management. You don't have the amount of resources dedicated to stormwater management anywhere else like you have here. If you had multiple builders, everybody's fighting over, who's going to pay for this and who's going to pay for that, and so on and so forth. In the villages, well, we know who pays for it. It's the home buyers. The home buyers pay for everything, but they're the ones ultimately benefiting from it. But when they are, because of the size, they're able to carve out huge segments of land and have these, what do you want to call it? The stormwater management and flood control is segmented into large, very large segments. And you couldn't do that if you were working with multiple builders. So there are such advantages. Now, let's back up just one second. Is the village just too big? I guess it depends too on how you ask. I hear a lot of complaints from folks outside of the villages in Sumter County. They're not fond of the villages. It's taken away the farmland and so on and so forth. The villages isn't taking anything. They're buying. They're buying from people who are selling. Okay? If you don't like the villages growing, don't sell your land. It's that simple. If your neighbor's selling the land, you buy it. It's just the way it is. It's a free country. The state is doing many things to help preserve property in its natural state, preserve farmland, and these programs continue to grow. And I think those are very good programs. Yeah, it's funny though too, because many of these same residents who are complaining owe their livelihood to the villages and the workers that are here. So anyway, we're going to get to the workers in just a minute. Let's take a look at the messages that have come in. Let's see. Okay. All right, we talked about that one. I completely agree. Okay. Craig says, Moshka, I think you can credit Don and folks like Jerry and Linda for the many residents. Okay, yeah. Muskie says, Jerry and Linda's channel helped convince me. That's a good thing. Looks like the rainy season will start this week. How long do you think it will take for the drought restrictions to be lifted for lawn watering? Do we have to be fully out of the drought first? I don't know that exactly. It just depends on how when they start seeing the water levels start to rise. I'll actually have a much better idea on that come Wednesday, because one of the many jobs I have as a county commissioner is I also serve on the Withlacoochee River Water Supply Authority, which is we manage the Water Supply Authority manages the water usage permits and things like that. In fact, that's what I've been reading lately. This is the latest book that I'm reading. This is the Withlacoochee River Water Supply Authority Regional Water Supply Plan Update, Final Report. I'm doing my homework because I'm now the chairman of the Withlacoochee River Water Supply Authority. So, once the rainy season starts, the good thing is you won't have to water your yard much. Holy mackerel. It rains so often here. It's crazy. All right. All right. Let's see. Where else? Excellent point, says Craig. Jerry and Linda convinced me. This is from Todd and Cecile. Jerry and Linda convinced us we wanted to move to the villages. Don showed us where we wanted to be. That's good to know. Thank you. Jerry and Linda said we were shooting Mailbag Monday yesterday and came across the construction area. Did not know what it was and said to our viewers that they need to ask Buddy Don Wiley for the answers. Okay. Well, thank you. Skip Smith also made us comfortable to do an online purchase in the villages. Okay. All right. Latecomer here. Phone a PJ on TV. Oh, Mark is trying to watch me on the phone and the golf tournament on his TV. Okay. Please provide contact for the drone info on the drone club. You can send me an email. I used to be the president of the club, and I was the founder of the club, but I had to step down. I just had too much on my plate. But I will get you in touch with John. I don't have that information handy, but you can also, they have a Facebook page, and just look up on Facebook, Drone Flyers Club of the Villages. Same thing, you can Google it, and there's there. Muskie says, I am guessing that non-villages residents love the fact the villages and villages have decreased their property tax. Sumter used to be one of the highest property taxes. Right now, we are one of the lowest. You're absolutely right. 25 years ago, Sumter County had the highest property tax in the state. Now we have one of the lowest. Let's see. So Don, we came across probably 3 backyards that have fenced in by the owners the other day, not going to put the exact location. Have you noticed this? I had not noticed this. There are some homes, I know in Bradford, that did have fenced in yards that weren't part of verandas or anything like that. It's been a long time since I really looked at fenced-in yards, so. All right. Let's see. I was told, this is from Mike, he says, I was told by my village's rep that lots that were supposed to be released Friday and the releases were canceled. Is this unusual over the history of the villages? Honestly, I've not heard of it happening before. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but you know, anything, you know, it can happen. That's the bottom line. It can happen. They have their reasons. All right, let's get back to the answers. So, all right, why did that just go blank? All right, this is one of my favorites. You know what? Where are we at on time? Let's take a very short mid-show break. There's no comedy or anything like that. Just my sponsors. I'll be right back. Thanks for sticking with today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. Pardon me for just a minute while I go grab a fresh cup of coffee and stretch my legs and back. While you're waiting, let me ask you a quick question. Are you building a new home in the villages and need someone with a trained eye to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates? Then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years experience as a construction project manager, and I've been offering this valuable service to residents for over 6 years. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. Fortunately, serious issues are rare, but even the most minor issues are better caught during construction than during closing. I'm not just taking pictures of your home like others do. I'm watching your home being built with a trained eye to ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today. Now let's get back to the broadcast. Hey, we are back. Okay. I don't know why that camera keeps coming there. Let's answer some questions real quick. Mark wants to know, is Coleman Ridge considered part of Middleton? Looks like another family area. Yes, it is another family area. That is not part of Middleton. It is its own separate area. It is supposed to be, you don't want to use the term low income. But much more affordable housing. And so it was proposed that way. I don't know the exact reason why it's on hold, but it's been sitting there for, gosh, a year or two already. I don't know. Anyway. But no, it's not part of Middleton, but yes, it is part of it is a family area. So Angel Eyes wants to know any reason why they would raise the land near the boathouse for those possible lifestyle visits. So what's happening is they're grading the land, and it takes a lot of dirt to grade the land. They're building it up between 18 and 24 inches, which is typical above the road. And because of that, they got to bring in the topsoil. All right, it takes a lot. The problem they have is it's a very confined area, so they bring in a bunch of dirt, they dump it in one spot, so it gets real high, then they got to spread it out, and then they bring in some more, and they put it in another spot, and they got to spread it out. It's a very long and tedious process. Unlike in a larger area, like what's happening on the other side of Bexley Trail, where they can bring in huge mountains of dirt, and they do. Trust me, they do. The caravan of trucks is unbelievable to watch. When they do that, though, they have room to put it, and it's easy to spread. So it's it looks worse than it really is because of the constraints of where they're working. Let's see. Todd Father says, Church at the Springs construction has over 100 white PVC drain lines coming out of the ground. What is actually going in the church beyond normal church facilities? Housing of any sort? No houses. It's just a church. It's amazing how much drainage actually gets put in all over the place. Yeah. So I don't see it. I mean, if you look over at Hope Lutheran, okay, over on Megason, there at Warm Springs, next to the Turnpike, they have the same thing. What kind of problems have you caught during construction? New video packages for people. Okay, Larry, good question. We'll take 2 minutes to talk about that. Biggest things I've caught have been things like wrong color tile. The homeowners caught that because they knew what they were asking for, and it was just the wrong color. What other things? One house had the windows in the wrong spot. They were supposed to be 24 inches from the wall, and they put it, and it was a 24-inch wide window. They put it 24 inches on center, so the windows were 12 inches closer to the wall than they should have been. Kitchen island was about a foot too far out. What other things? Yeah, there haven't been a lot of major issues. Had one house, I didn't catch it, but I saw it happening. The window was put in crooked in a precast wall. That was a 3-day operation to cut that window out. And it was amazing to watch. For the most part, they don't have a lot of big issues because everything is so well orchestrated. It's very well coordinated. Information flows very quickly and freely between the developer and the contractors. So not much nothing of much major concern. All right, let's continue on because we're getting to some really important stuff here. All right. So, should the villages stop building? Well, let's talk about this. What happens when the village stops building? Well, you've got approximately 1,500 people that are involved in home construction. Guess what? You stop building, they're out of jobs. That's a lot of jobs to lose. Victoria, it's about a 3-month build process from the time they break ground until closing. You're going to add another month onto that from actually 6 weeks. From the start of your design week until breaking ground is normally about 6 weeks. There's a 4 to 5 week period between design week and building your home, so they get in all the materials and all the design and permitting is done. All right, back on to the topic at hand. So 15,000 people, that's a lot of jobs. If construction stops, that's 15,000 people that lose their jobs, okay? Construction work, I will tell you because I did it for 20 years, it's very transient, okay? And people will move on. If there's no work, they move on. Typically in a construction site, you get towards the last quarter of the build of a building, and you need an electrician? Good luck. You need a drywaller? Don't hold your breath. Why? Because those guys have moved on. Here, it's a different animal. I have never seen construction like this. I have met second and third generation people working here. Different trades possibly than their fathers and grandfathers or mothers and grandmothers, but their grandfather or grandmother worked for Harold. and then their mother and father worked for, when I say Harold Schwartz, mother and father worked for Gary Morris. And now, Mark Morris and family are in charge of what's happening. People have gone to college and come back and started businesses. It is a huge success story for a community. Very few communities have this kind of success story, and it's because of the dedication. But again, if they don't have work, they're going to move on, okay? But you're also going to get a spike in unemployment, okay? Not everybody wants to move on or can move on, so you'll end up with a spike in unemployment. That's never good, because normally with unemployment, crime follows. And, so remember, villages is too big. We've got to stop building. So you stop building. These are the things that are going to happen. You don't have to look far. You can see where steel mills or textile factories have closed. They were the major employer for the area. And this whole process is repeated time and again. It's not magic. It is just the way things work. Along with that, if crime goes up, there's lots of easy targets in the villages. Let's face it. Let's look around right now. If you're here in the villages, look around. How many of your neighbors are seasonal residents? Call them snowbirds, whatever you want to call them. And they have gone back up north. Okay. Well, what's their house doing? It's sitting there empty. I hate to say it, but it's an easy target. For violent crimes, the elderly are easy targets. Okay. Of course, somebody goes in, they say, well, I need a new TV. I want to watch the soccer, the FIFA or whatever the heck that is. I don't know. Football is played with an oval ball, not some round spotted ball. But they want a TV to watch it. Well, where can I get a TV? Oh, let me tell you what, just take a drive down. Let's go to the villages. We'll go shopping there. There's lots of empty houses this time of year. And they get in there, and guess what? They look around and say, man, these are nice digs. Most houses in the villages are very nice. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Now you get squatters. Try and get a squatter out of your house. Try and get a squatter out of your house. It's next to impossible. All right? Let's see what happens next. Home inventories will spike. Okay? So these workers, that's not just in Sumter County. These workers come from all the surrounding counties. They're going to see a spike in home inventories up for sale. Why? Because people are moved on, because work has gone up. Guess what? When inventory goes up, prices go down, values go down. And that's felt not just in, let's say Bushnell or Wildwood, but that's going to impact properties here in the villages too, okay? And people move. When they move their entire families, okay? And, I've talked about this before with many people. The guy who might be an electrician or a plumber, he's out of work. He needs to move on. He looks at his spouse and says, we're moving. Guess what? The hospital just lost one of their nurses. And, oh, by the way, McDonald's lost one of their cashiers, and Publix lost one of their baggers. Those people move away. That has a huge impact on businesses that we don't really take a second to look at. It's a big thing to lose employees. And it has a very negative impact on businesses because A, they don't have the people to keep their business operating, and customer service decreases. Businesses start to close because they lose customers. Because remember, villages got too big, so we decided to stop building. So that's 15,000 employees. They went away. They were paychecks. They spent money. Just walk into Publix, walk into Walmart, walk into any store around here, and you will see not just senior citizens living from the villages, but you will see residents from all throughout the county and surrounding area. okay? But those businesses start to close. When businesses start to close, it's not a great place to live anymore. If you don't have good businesses, good restaurants, guess what happens to your home values? They continue to spiral down. All right. Again, as crime increases, businesses close, property values continue to decrease. As property values decrease, property taxes have to increase to continue to provide the services. It's just simple math, folks. Those taxes are going to go up. Why do we have one of the lowest tax rates in the state? Because we have a very growing, thriving community, and that keeps that keeps a good flow of tax revenue coming in, and we're able to continue to lower and lower and lower. You hear about the rollback rate. That's a good thing, but it doesn't help you keep up with inflation. That's been a hard spot too. All right, so property taxes go and increase. As taxes start to increase, guess what? More people start selling their homes. Why? I want a fixed income. I can't afford these higher taxes. They're going to move on. Here goes that spiral again. We're going down the drain, just like a toilet bowl. And this affects not just Sumter, but Lake, Marion, Citrus, Hernando County. There's a dozen counties around us where people come from to work here. And it will have a major regional impact. All right, so let's see. How about let's just stop building during the drought? All right, you know what? Hang on. Let's take a quick pause and we'll look at our question. Sodfather says, I would love the developer to do a presentation on just what goes into building the villages. So much going on at the same time, and so much planning is done. It's amazing what they do and how well they do it. They have some incredible project management here. I was a construction project manager for nearly 20 years, working for Johnson Controls. And I've said it many times, if I had been working for the villages, I probably would have been much happier. I probably would have stuck with it. I probably would have been retiring about this time instead of when I did 8 years ago. Or has it been 9 years? It was 14, whatever that was. Yeah. Wait, was it 14? No, it was 18 I retired. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. I must be getting old. I'm not remembering anything. All right. Building stops is true. However, let's see. All right. We're going to get, that seems like a good question. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's really just about good management, their construction process. Larry wants to know, why don't more homes have light-colored roof shingles? Doesn't that lessen the heat load on the houses significantly? Yes, it does, and I have no idea why. I always thought the same thing. They should revive a night with the developer annual meeting. An evening with the developer, yeah, that was a good idea. I liked it too. Mark Morris made a comment 2 years in a row about information getting out before they could put it out. Mentioned something about drones showing things off that they weren't ready to be seen. I don't know what the heck he was talking about. So maybe it's my fault. I don't know. All right. So Mark Reynolds says, so everything you're saying about the building stop is true. Isn't all you said inevitable when the builder runs out of land to build on? I suppose it's a matter of time. Good point. That's why Sumter County is working so hard to diversify our industries here in Sumter County. You've heard of Monarch Ranch. That's the area from 301 to I-75 from the Florida Turnpike down to Coleman. That's Monarch Ranch. It's like 5,000 acres. We're looking to attract industry in there to create new jobs, to lessen the impact. We have probably 20, 30 years. It just depends, you know. But yes, I would agree. It's inevitable. He said drones everywhere. Can't keep any secrets any longer. Yeah, I know, Craig. Anyway, let's go on. Let's keep on. So let's stop building during the drought. So I will tell you, based on my knowledge of water management, which has grown tremendously in the last year, construction is accounted for in the water use projections, okay? So that's step one. It's accounted for, just like every other business accounted for. You notice that Mr. Car Wash and the other car washes haven't shut down? Not yet. Yes, they're high water usage, but they're accounted for in the water usage plans. Okay? When they start wanting us to cut back, they want to go for the stuff that's the low-hanging fruit, the easy stuff to stop and control, and that's watering our yards. But wait, that one gets really interesting around here. So the aquifer that they're watching is the Upper Floridian, I can never pronounce that one, the Upper Florida aquifer. And that's where our potable water comes from. So that's where that is coming from. The lower Floridian aquifer, this one is lower, it's about 1,000 feet lower. It's what they use for irrigation and filling ponds. It's a lesser, it's not as good a quality water, so they use it for irrigation and filling ponds. Our ponds here in the villages are lined, almost all of them are lined. That keeps it helps retain the water. There's a thick rubber bladder. Just watch some of my old videos. And it's reused. Also, all right, irrigation here in the villages, because remember, we're, boy, I tell you what, if you ever go to the Withlacoochee River Water Supply Authority, you talk to the other counties, the villages is the biggest user of water. Yeah, but what they don't take into account is our irrigation is stormwater runoff and reclaimed water. They started using reclaimed water when they moved south of the turnpike. So it's not coming from the upper Floridian, the upper aquifer, and it's not coming from the lower aquifer. It's coming from the retention ponds and reclaimed water. So why do we have to cut back? I haven't wrapped my head around that one. Nobody's been able to give me a good answer. Anyway, let's see. What else? Again, water restrictions on lawn. And again, you want to stop building, even for a short time, that's loss of jobs. And the water management districts have a responsibility to not stifle the economy of the state of Florida. There are 6 water management districts. Most people here live in the Southwest Florida Water Management District, and a few up in the northern part of Marion County and that live in the St. Johns River Water Management District. And then, of course, there's other ones throughout the state. But yeah, all right, so we talked about that. Let's talk about infrastructure. I mean, and I hear this a lot from folks that might live outside the villages. Oh, the infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so water and wastewater, okay, they are years ahead in building it, okay? The Gibson facilities, the Gibson wastewater treatment facility, which is over behind Fire Station 48. If you go down Central Parkway, just past Fire Station 48, you will see the Gibson wastewater treatment facility. It's right across Central Parkway from Moultrie Creek. That's a huge facility. It's now nowhere even touching its capacity, and they're still building it, okay? And it's a state-of-the-art facility. Same thing with the water. 5 years ago, they did the Gibson wells over by where the new hospital is going to be built. Okay, there's wells on the other side of the turnpike that are up by the village of Hawkins, and there's wells over directly across from the football stadium in Middleton. Well, actually, they're in Moultrie Creek. More wells with storage facilities. So there is no shortage of wastewater or water facilities here in the villages. So that infrastructure exists. Now, Wildwood is building a wastewater treatment plant. Okay, the need though is not due to the villages. Our wastewater all goes to villages developed facilities. However, if you're in the villages and in the city of Wildwood, you get to help pay for it in your property tax, but you get no benefit from it. I'm going to leave that one alone. The electrical utilities are years ahead, absolutely years ahead. I mean, they are so on top of things, it's crazy. All right, what is going on here? I just noticed that you guys can't see part of, here we go. Let's try that. Let's see, that should be a little bit better. There we go. That's a little bit better. Sorry about that. But yeah, the electric companies are way ahead of everybody. I mean, the villagers had to submit plans to them a decade ago for what they had planned. So it's, you know, especially something of this size. That's why, if well, you may not remember it, I do, but gosh, it's been 8, 9 years now. Over in the north end of the village of Newell and the south end of Citrus Grove, there's a big electrical substation there. That was all part of the long-term planning. Okay, let's see what else we got here. The roads, okay, so almost all the roads are in the villages are built by the developer and are paid for with our bonds that are in our homes. Now, the major arterials, the regional roads, these are roads of regional significance, and they are invested by the county because they have substantial impact on the economy of the county. So we have a regional road agreement with the developer, which is absolutely unheard of. When I explain this to other county commissioners throughout the state, at meetings I go to, they're all like, what? Nobody does this. But Bexley Trail, Central Parkway, McNeil, these are all regional roads. Megison, they're all considered regional roads, and the developer builds them, and then they invoice the county. The county pays for the construction of the road. They don't pay for the land. They don't pay for the stormwater management. All that's absorbed by the developer. Okay, the developer doesn't pay for anything. It's passed on to, guess who? Us, the home buyers. But yeah, we all benefit from it. And then, when they're done, they submit their invoice. And then because of the regional road agreement, the county sits on it for 5 years and doesn't pay it. And sometimes it's 15 years. So the Bexley Bridge, Central Parkway, there's the new section of Central Parkway from Middleton to 301. Those are on a 15-year delay. This was a huge, huge investment by the developer and the county. We use gas taxes and gas taxes and roadway impact fees. If you want to talk about impact fees, we'll talk about that on another show because that's a whole new topic. But anyway, that is what money it pays for it. And of course, if we stop building, well, those impact fees stop. So then we got to use our gas taxes to pay for it. And those gas taxes are also what we use to fund our county road budget. So we'll have to stop building other roads and stop maintaining other roads to pay this debt that we incurred. But we had to stop building because the village is too big. All right, what else? Amenities. Okay, we're wrapping this up. Okay, shopping. Okay. Yes, there's not a lot of shopping down in the South End right now. Why is that? Because if you build it, they will come is a failure for a business plan. Customers come before the businesses. They have to. Customers can be inconvenienced for a long time having to go to Publix in Lake Deaton Plaza while they build the one up in Magnolia Plaza, okay? But Magnolia Plaza, Publix couldn't sit there empty or couldn't sit there built with no customers until they had the customer base, okay? So it's not a chicken and egg syndrome. The customers have to be there first, okay? There is lots of commercial underway. It's limited by the customer base and the manpower to build it. And really, I mean, there's so much construction going on, getting manpower to build it is limiting it. Also, got to have customers, okay? And of course, there's the NIMBY, not in my backyard. All we got to say is, look at the complaining about where Walmart was going. Oh, don't put it in there. It's not in my backyard. Anyway, let's talk about amenities. They used to build the amenities before they built the houses. Guess what? They still do. Okay? They still do. There is a change in perception on the growth. Used to be you never knew what was going on behind that magic wall where the signs were. Well, now they got people with drones flying and showing you and doing research and telling you things like that. So I guess I'm partially to blame for the change in perception. The other change in perception is you're driving through the areas that are under construction now. You never used to do that before. It was always constantly pushing that barrier back. So that change in perception changed things. And if you don't know, the Pullman Recreation Center has started construction. They brought out a ton of CMU block, cinder block, if you will, and yeah, it's happening. Okay, and Pullman is the rec center that they're building, similar to Mustang, but it's up by Beautyberry and Honeysuckle Starter Shack. All right. Whoop. And yes, there are plenty of golf courses, okay? There are plenty of golf courses, and they continue to build more. They've got 2 more that'll be opening up later this year, Woodlands and the Woodlands and the Lakes. And then, of course, Palms, and that's under development right now. Meadowview is under construction right now. Lots and lots of golf coming. But remember, shopping and championship courses are not amenities. They are businesses. Okay? Oh. All right. So, Mario, City of Leesburg supplements reuse water with potable water for that reason. Yeah, okay. And you know, not everybody has the aggressive reclamation practices that the villages has, but yeah. Yeah, you know, part of it too is the way the water table is shifting. So, but thank you, Mario, I appreciate it. Mario's, I don't remember, Mario, I don't remember what your occupation is, but Mario used to do a lot of videos. I know he's a big bicyclist, nice guy. Anyway, he was a drone pilot. He was one of those lucky ones last year that got a letter just like I did. All right. Okay. So we are done with that topic. So stopping building is a terrible, terrible economic downturn cycle that we would get into. Yes, eventually the building will stop. Okay, yeah, there's no doubt about it. But hopefully Sumter County and surrounding counties, their economies will change and their job markets will change. That will offset that in due time. Yes, there will be, when the last house is built, there will be a huge impact. You know, in 2014, they were talking about not going south of 44, and man, that was hard times. Fortunately, the state changed the laws, and it helped everybody. And I know, don't get me started. Well, my realtor said they're not building south of 466A, blah, blah, blah. You know what? These plans have been underway for decades. Harold Schwartz was involved with everything down to Brownwood. Okay? And if you think they weren't planning for going farther south, just look at Brownwood. It's now surrounded by its customers, which is Richmond and, you know, Hillsborough and that. It's surrounded by the villages. They wouldn't have put it on the periphery like that if they didn't think they were going to go beyond there. That's the bottom line. If you look at every town square, it's always surrounded by their customers, not just one side. All right. Wow, we are going to run long today, but that's okay. If you guys are willing to stick it out, so will I. Sodfather says, Village's golf cart store has added a new electric cart brand. Is this a sign of changing customer demands and other cart stores now? I estimate that there are more electric carts than gas carts on the south side. You know, the whole electric gas argument has been around for literally decades. The electrics are getting better with the lithium batteries, but boy, I'll tell you what, as somebody who deals with lithium batteries on a regular basis, because all my drones use lithium batteries, the last thing you want to do is damage one of those puppies. So then you're going to have a nasty fire, and they don't go out easy. If you watch, whenever there's been a lithium battery fire, firefighters just stand by and, you know, put out any incidental fires. They just let it burn out. That's all they can do. What about Sumter? Bill Sodfather says, what about Sumter County? I'm scratching my head about not being able to use captured water in a retention pond to water my lawns. Retention water won't get to the aquifer just sitting there. I agree. That is an interesting question. You know, we have a plentiful supply. I wish I had an answer on that one. Okay, let's get to the other big topic that's really come out. We'll go back to the PowerPoint. All right, you got to push the right button down. Hey, Chitty Chatty. So what's going on in Chitty Chatty? Work starts tomorrow on changing the turn lanes in Chitty Chatty and I can't remember we got it here in a second. There's an apartment complex community on the other side. A little bit of history. I guess it was a year and a half ago, we started getting complaints that about how difficult it was to make a left-hand turn out of Chitty Chatty and Sandalwood. That's the other community. And okay, yes, it's a small community trying to make a left turn as traffic started to increase. So the county did not just sit back and ignore it. We looked into it. We commissioned a traffic study trying to figure out what the traffic looked like, what the issues were. We have traffic engineers. This is what they do, and they put together a tremendous amount of information. And if you ever want to get a cure for insomnia, just read a traffic study. Oh my God, it will put you to sleep. Why do you think I drink so much coffee? Because I've got to read all this stuff. So really there were 4 options, okay? The first one that the residents wanted was a traffic circle, okay? That's $3 to $4 million to build a traffic circle, okay? That is pretty much a year's worth of our road budget, and there's no matching state funds for something like that, okay? The other thing is there is no growth from those two sides, either Sandalwood or Chitty Chatty. So there's going to be no more traffic coming out of there. So now you're talking about slowing traffic down on Morse and eventually Warm Springs as it goes on. I'll just say I have no appetite for raising your property taxes 5% to build a very expensive traffic circle that does very little besides slow traffic down and enables a small number of people to make a left-hand turn. I'm sorry if they're inconvenienced, but that's just the reality of it. So then what about a traffic signal? Well, there are standards in the state and federal level about traffic lights and how much volume of traffic there has to be, not just in the main flow, but in the cross flow. And didn't meet that warrant either, okay? Oh yeah, so there was lots of online comments about this. Trust me, I had I had a lot to read, and I got a really great email. We'll talk about it. Again, so traffic circle, traffic light, again, with no future growth on the side areas, there was no warrants for a traffic circle. So the problem, one of the big problems we ran into, is we had people saying it's unsafe to make a left-hand turn. Unsafe to make a left-hand turn. That, man, when you start making claims like that, you got our attention, okay? Yes, if you are trying to execute it and you're in a hurry, it's going to be unsafe. The problem is that puts us in a great area of liability, okay? And so the residents said it was unsafe. So we had to listen. So we had to take some action. We had two more choices. We could do nothing, well, because of this statement, okay. So now our final choice was a directional turn lane, okay. Directional turn is they can only turn right out of either development, and then they'll have to make a U-turn or go an alternate route. Not very convenient, but I will tell you, the most convenient place to do it is at the new Walmart, okay, at that traffic light that Walmart paid for, okay. Walmart paid for that traffic light. The county did not pay for that. But there is the place, because if you get the left turn signal, you don't have to worry about cross traffic. It's gone, okay? You can make your U-turn there. Sandalwood, they use the traffic circle and they can go around the other way. So there, I mean, that's really kind of what it boiled down to. This is the reconfiguration. The yellow is what's being added. The big yellow spot is they're getting rid of the left turn lane that's on the exit of the village of Chitty Chatty, and they're putting in a directional median. The way it's laid out, it is almost impossible to make a left-hand turn because of this. It was really the only safe option that we had, and I know people didn't like it. I'm sorry, but you know, when they threw it's down the card of it's unsafe, well, okay, you forced our hand. You forced our hand. Well, some people said, well, you shouldn't have done anything. Yeah, but you said it was unsafe. You said it was unsafe. All right. So I got this email. Actually, it came to the county. This is in public records. It says, this is from Becky. It says, this work needs to halt immediately. Well, it hadn't started, but okay. You act like we asked for this, and you decided it was the cheap way out. Well, yes, it was less expensive. Yes, you did ask for it. You did ask for something to change at that because you said it was unsafe, okay? This one gets me. Just wait until we are blocking the fire station, trying to make a U-turn, and the fire trucks and ambulances are trying to get out. Well, then you're going to get ticketed and towed, okay? Because you're breaking the law. You're impeding an emergency vehicle, okay? And you're not making a U-turn in front of the fire station because that's actually up a small road before it gets there. So there's been a lot of talk online about why you can't do a U-turn in front of a fire station, blah, blah, blah. Again, you're not doing it in front of a fire station because that road services a fire station and several other facilities back there. Let's see. The assessment you did was before Walmart opened. I got news for you, folks. Walmart didn't add a whole lot of traffic, okay? Just like, remember Costco? We did a traffic study after we did it this past winter during peak season, and what is being changed on traffic flow up there is we're adding 4 stop signs. We're changing 2 intersections from 2-way stops to 4-way stops. That was all that was deemed necessary to improve the safety and traffic flow of Costco. But it was going to be a traffic nightmare. All right. Let's see, what does Becky say? Oh, do it now. Walmart gets a light But the village's residents who paid for the light are inconvenienced because you are too cheap. Okay, first off, the village's residents didn't pay for it. Walmart paid for it. Okay, they paid for that light. Not the county, not the villages residents. Get over yourself. All right. Let's see. We're too cheap. Well, maybe we should have just done an assessment for the $3 or $4 million on the community of Chitty Chatty and let them pay for it. Let's see, there's 600 homes in there. $3 million, that's what? Somebody do the math with that's $5,000 or $50,000 a house? Yeah, sure, why not? What the hell? It's only money. You act like we asked for a curb in front of the only entrance exit we have. Seriously. No, you asked for it to be safer, and that's what you're getting. When our property values decrease, you better be decreasing our taxes, because that is what is going to happen. We are furious. I'm sorry, but, and I've seen a lot of comments like this, folks. Wow, what can I say? All right. Enough on that one. That was such a classic one. I had to share it with you all. Again, this is part of public record, so you can request this from the county. Do an open records request, and we'll happy to provide it. Okay. Oop. Hey, wow, that was it on that slide. Let's go back to the comments, and we're going to go back to the initial question, because that was a really good slide too. Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate it. I appreciate your donation. Walt says Wildwood Slush Fund has grown a lot due to the villages. I'll not hold any more comments on that. Orange Mini Cooper says, Don, we just got in to catch you live. Do we have any news on the Eastport grocery store, Aldi? Nope, no news yet. Great info, thank you very much. Way to go, Victoria. City of Leesburg, Mario says, the City of Leesburg supplements reuse water with potable water. The reason, St. John's does the increase, okay. Again, let's see, Gulf Stars, okay, let's see. All right, I got mixed up here. All right, so this is from Terry. She says, do you see the commercial development near the new hospital by the turnpike to rival the businesses on 44127? Yes. When you look at the size of that, they're looking at 700 acres. It's huge. That is huge. I think it's going to be a huge economic center for this area of the villages. The city of Leesburg will profit immensely from it. Sumter County, not so much. All right. Lusky wants to know what state laws, what state laws changed growth south of 44. Muskie, that's a long drawn out one. I'll have to get back with you. Give me a call this evening. We can talk. So Hugo says new Walmart on 44 doesn't seem very crowded. Seems seeing many commercials for it on television. Do they perhaps understand demand for this? Actually, when you go, the parking lot is normally pretty populated, but it's not a continuous stream. A couple cars go out, a couple cars come in, a couple cars go out. It's not a big stream like people expected. It just doesn't work that way. But it's going. Mark says, I saw a golf cart in the Walmart parking lot. Not sure how it got there. Maybe a mobile home park across 44. Well, that would be an illegal crossing. Really, the only place that could get in there would be from Continental Country Club. And I'm not sure how they get there because that's a sidewalk, that's not a golf cart path. Let's see. This is from Jim24. Don, can you show us on the Villages Map website where the intersection that you are talking about is located? Absolutely. And Sod Father, no, my new smoker isn't up and running yet. I don't have my gazebo up. I have been taking care of my wife. Let's go to the map. And there it is. We're going to go zingy, 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 zingy. And here it is. This is the intersection right here. That is, we were discussing. Okay? And then you can make a U-turn here at the where the fire station entrance is. As you can see, the service center and maintenance facility for the VCCD is there. There's an annex attached also. So there's a lot more there. This is very enlightening when you start looking at this. Okay, first this is the greenhouses, that's gone. But my understanding is this is all slated for commercial development. And of course, here's our Walmart. And why they have a left turn lane going here is beyond me. It's beyond my comprehension, because this is all protected wetlands in here. You're never going to do anything in there in that road. Anyway, so I hope that helps. Let's see, what do we got here? We got another comment. He says, I saw on YouTube that Top of the World is finished building out at the end of 26. No more land. Wow. Okay. You know, I've been to Top of the World a few times. And I've looked around. We looked up there. And honestly, the impression that Debbie and I got after we had come to the villages several times and looked around, been to Lake Sumter Landing, Spanish Springs. It was very lively and lots of activity. And then we went up one day up to Top of the World. It was a graveyard. I mean, it was absolutely dead. We went to their big recreation center. Nobody there. Nobody there. You never see that here in the villages. Yes, some of the village rec centers may not have something going on, but man, you go to a regional rec center, there's always something going on. And you know, sorry, I didn't get it. Her doctor 2 weeks. All right, so Elvis fan forever. I don't blame you. I love Elvis. I'm sorry. How is your wife doing? I have hip replacement with her doctor in 2 weeks. She is doing extremely well. You know, the shuffling walk is quickly going away. I got a funny feeling by the end of the week, this coming week, she'll be off the walker and probably onto a cane. She is doing exceptionally well. She gives me the stink eye when we do her physical therapy, but I'm dedicated to helping her, and she is really dedicated to doing the physical therapy. As she said this morning, she says, I'm not going through all this pain just to give up. It's like, okay, you know, but I can see lots of differences. You know, for example, she's got to do a hamstring stretch. When she started last week, you know, she was this far from her foot. Last night she had her hand on her toes, holding her hamstring stretch. She's moved this much farther down. Well, that really looks bigger on the screen. Woohoo! That's about 6 inches. So she's really making great progress, and I couldn't be happier. I would love to. So Scott wants to know how I pull up the village's map without all the housing information on it. Do you mind explaining? I can explain that real quick. Yes. So if you want this map, all right, go here to most people go to Homes and they hit Search Homes. Go to Visit and click on Community Map, and it brings it up, and you can zoom in, ding, 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 and you can see all the streets, and you can take different categories too. You could just look at Brownwood, and then it brings you details about Brownwood. And you know what? Look at Brownwood. They got all this space over here. Well, no, I'm sorry, that's parking lot. But this green space here, that's still room to grow in Brownwood. So there's quite a bit of space there. That Actually, I'm surprised because there's really not a whole lot of space left, actually. Brownwood has been growing steadily. Let's look at, oh, all right. Oh, got to get a Brownwood. Let's go to, oh, come on, Don. Here, hit reset, dummy. There we go. Area, Lake Sumter Landing. You know, if we zoom in on Lake Sumter Landing, there's still room to grow here too. Here and here. There's, I gotta get my bearings straight. There's some more here. Lake Sumter Landing is still growing. Spanish Springs, not so much. It's pretty much full. Anyway, I hope that helps. You know, it's a great map. They have great information. And there you go. All right. So we are, holy mackerel, we're an hour and a half into the show. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around for the show. Let's go back to the other camera. You know, it's always my pleasure to do this. Make sure I got on my list here. We talked about Debbie. Oh, yeah, new pricing. You know, for the last year or so, every now and then I've been running specials. I've been giving a discount. And I finally got to realize, why am I doing this? Just lower my prices. Because I looked at my run sheet. Right now I got 32, 33 houses on my run sheet for homes that I'm doing. And I think all but 6 have a discount of some sort. So I just lowered my prices. Prices are now $30 to $50 lower than they used to be. Additions for size adjustments, they're lower. Pool additions are lower. Everything is lower. If you're building a home and you need somebody to watch it, please feel free to give me a call. Go to my website, goldwingnut.com. Let's go back up here. We'll click on home. This is what it looks like these days. And you got here, it says now home. All right, we found a typo. It should say new home photo video packages. If you click on that, it describes everything. It shows you, you know what? I just realized I'm not showing you that thing. All right, let's go back here. I'll show you that again. So this is the new my website. I've been changing it up a little bit, and it says now home photo video package. It should say new home. If you click on that, it takes you to the new home construction update packages, and it explains the whole process, shows you the new pricing. At the bottom of the page, you fill out the information, you send it to me, I get a hold of you, we'll make sure we get everything understood, and we're good to go. And I have lots of good comments, and if you haven't seen the stuff, I have 2 YouTube pages. The people that buy the deluxe package have their homes being built. They get a weekly update on a video. You can go to my other YouTube page, and you'll see those homes. Anyway, all right. What else did I forget? We talked about 167. We talked about Pullman. We talked about everything. All right. So that being said, as always, remember, life is short. Power is fleeting. Physical beauty lasts but a very short while. All of us who live long enough will also at some point become weak and very vulnerable. So let us be humble, help the sick, the weak, the vulnerable. And excuse me. And one day we will all exit this stage. So let us do it with humility, dignity, honor, and the knowledge that through our actions we have helped make this world a better place. I'm Don Wiley. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll do this again next week. Stay well. Enjoy the beautiful Florida weather if you're down here. If you're up north, enjoy the weather that you can, but consider coming down. Man, it's a beautiful place. Why would anybody not want to live here? Thanks everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.
So we all know when people move into their homes, especially in Florida, we're limited for storage space. So what we do is we come in and help create storage space by maximizing what is currently available in their kitchens and their closets and other rooms. So a few of the things that we really pride ourselves on is communication with the customer, and our attention to detail is second to none. If you're looking to transform your kitchen, closet, or any other space in your home, give us a call or check out our website to book an appointment.